Have you noticed how long it takes for a wife that newly got married to change her name to the husband's name? After the usual wedding ceremony, it's official that the woman is now answering the surname of the husband. At the same time, if you go to the documents the woman is using, you find out that she still bears her father's name in most of her documents. Now, someone that doesn't understand the psychology behind the brain adopting to change will criticize this woman. Why are you still answering your father's name? Why you're already married to a man you're supposed to be answering his surname? I'd love you to write this down. You will hardly appreciate a body of knowledge without a learning system. Now, what is a system? System is a way of monitoring the growth of something. That means there must be a way to repeatedly remind that person to do that thing. What I found out in 2025 is that a lot of my mentees read books, they attend classes, but they find it difficult to apply what they read in real life experience. So that is why I'm using the case of a married woman to explain this to you. Now, meet that same woman that is struggling to change the names in documents to the husband name after 20 years in marriage. You'll be surprised the way she will introduce her surname, which is the husband's surname. Why? Is because the brain does not accept information the first time it hears it. It takes repetition for the brain to finally agree with the new information you are bringing to it. And that is where learning is superior to knowledge. Maybe you have read books in 2025. Maybe you've attended seminar training and nothing seems to work in your life. I'll tell you, it's very simple. The knowledge you have been receiving needs to be backed up with a learning system. A learning system is a practical experience you get involved with that gives you feedback to confirm if what you are studying, if what you are hearing is actually working in your territory. Because there's chances that the person you listen to might be talking based on that information working in another territory or working based on his own mindset. You have to get involved. That is a learning system. And that getting involved have to be monitored. That is why we added system to it. So learning is a practical experience. Knowledge is just the accumulation of information, while the system is what makes it repeated. So the practical experience has to be repeated over and over again and must be monitored. That is when you can now bring it back, compare it with a body of knowledge, information you've gotten. You now begin to appreciate, oh, is this what you were trying to say? Sometimes you find out that it is not really exactly the way you heard it, that you experienced it in real life. And that is where the transformation starts. So in 2026, I wouldn't want you to just keep reading, attending lectures, listening to speakers online. I want you to look for someone that will hold you accountable, that will make sure you go out there and get a practical experience, then come back with it, compare it with what you are learning. That is when and only then will you appreciate the body of knowledge you have been receiving. And with that, your 2026 will give you much more result than the result you saw in the previous year. And this is a growth strategy.